It's the starting five, Sleepers Media. Happy Tuesday, or whatever day it is when you're listening to this. Card, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. Can't complain. It's beautiful outside. Just getting my daily multivitamins in over here. You know, I like to do this right before we record our starting five. I feel like it's just kind of part of the start the day, start the week kind of routine. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you like to do this right when we start the episode because you and I have been talking for 20 minutes back behind the stage and you did not take your vitamins. So that seems like it was for show a little bit.
Well, me doing something for show? That just isn't me.
Can we get a quick, this isn't going to be one of our topics today, but can we get a quick Carter Elliott statement on behalf of the Detroit Lions organization? Because I'm hearing a lot of rah-rah, a lot of fight in this team. You can tell the changes, but Carter, I said all last week, word for word, that the best bet you could make was the Eagles to win that game by exactly 3 points. We've seen this for 10 plus years.
It's twofold, and we're not gonna get into it too deeply. It's not like the same old Lions bullshit. It's exactly what I expected. Like I thought we got like some offensive, like actual weapons. Like DeAndre Swift is actually good. Amon-Ra St. Brown's good. Hawkinson's good. Shark is good. Those guys are good. But we're not gonna be able to stop anybody. Nobody. And we didn't stop anybody. So that is what it is.
Hurts also
we're not gonna stop anybody all year.
Hurts look kind of good. I don't know that that's entirely defense because like Hurts looked like special a little bit to me.
Well, it's like literally Hurts is the worst possible scenario for our defense.
Right.
So it is what it is. I'm kind of mad that you get to use that, Eagles will only win by 3 against me because they should have won by more than 3. I was surprised.
But it's the classic false hope of the Detroit Lions. Like Jared Goff threw for 6 yards through a quarter and a half. And then all of a sudden he's hitting deep balls in the second half. But it's always when the margin is too much to overcome. Always. They give you false hope. They come back in it. And then they do some dumb shit. Like players miss plays. I did not like the way Dan Campbell coached that game at all. I think he's directly responsible for 3 points. And they lose by 3. What do you do? So we'll see. I'm sure next week will be more of the same. It always is. Hope and then devastation. Carter will be there for it. Season ticket.
You like my cup?
It's a nice cup, man. Is that a new cup?
Yeah, it is.
Nice. Does it taste like regret yet?
Nah, it just tastes like water.
It tastes like hope. Okay. Moving on. Today, we're going to do a little Michigan State stuff. To start, we're going to talk about Illinois commit Zacharie Perrin and how he is not going to be on the Illinois roster this year. Of course, we have another Isaiah Collier update that's coming every single week at this point. And then we will talk football and some betting to end the show because we had a wild weekend together with almost a $20,000 win on the line. So fast forward to that if you want to hear more about that. Let's start with Michigan State, though, Cart. Michigan State has the hardest schedule in the country in basketball. Schedules were officially released with the non-conference, with the dates, with times, and with the conference schedules as well. I was texting you in a group chat with some other Michigan State fan friends and essentially said this team might not make the tournament off schedule alone, straight up, because I look at this schedule and there is 15 games minimum that they are going to be betting underdogs in. Like, even if they win a handful of those, they essentially have to win all the games they're favored to win. Otherwise, they're going to lose.
As of now,
it could change, right?
Betting underdogs. It is.
It could change, but like I don't see how this team doesn't lose at minimum 13 games, and it's much more likely they lose 15, 16 games with the schedule. Let me just read the schedule to you, dude. They start with exhibition against Grand Valley. Fine. They're home against Northern Arizona. Cupcake win. Cool. 2-0. Gonzaga, Kentucky, Villanova at home, Alabama in the PK, UConn or Oregon in the PK. If you win one of those, great. You're going to get a really tough team and lose the third game. If you lose both of those, you'll get a cupcake and you'll win one. They're going 1-2 in the PK event. At Notre Dame, Notre Dame returns a lot. It's a tough game on the road. Then you're into the conference. Couple games you should win. Northwestern, Penn State, cupcake non-conference schedule for the back half. Brown, Oakland, Buffalo, Nebraska. But like, even their conference schedule is tough, dude. Like Michigan at Wisconsin, at Illinois to start from there. They go at Indiana later in the year, at Purdue, at Ohio State, at Michigan, at Iowa. Like their road games are against the top teams in this conference. They have double plays against most of the top teams in this conference. Like I'm expecting this team to at best go 500 in the Big Ten conference. That would be 10-10. And I see 6 losses in the non-conference. That's 16 losses for a team. They're not making the tournament with that. I don't know what to think.
Didn't the team you support have about 16 losses last year?
No, they did not. Let me look up the exact number. I think they ended with
was it 14?
Might have been 14 at the end of the season.
14 at the end of the season, and they didn't win a game in the Big Ten tournament?
I'm talking, but like I'm talking 16 regular season losses for Michigan State looking at this.
Okay, but also like I see what you're saying right now, but you're acting like I'm not saying you're wrong here, but you're penciling in 16 losses like they are like 16. Like I'll give you some of those losses.
That's not true.
But you're like penciling in 16 losses like it's a given, and that's what we're starting with.
That's not true.
And we'll work our way back from that.
That is incorrect. What I'm doing is penciling Gonzaga and Kentucky in as guaranteed losses because Madi Sissoko and Jackson Kohler have to guard Drew Timme and Oscar.
You made your point. They're automatic losses. Please move on to the rest of the non-conference. Go in that stretch of 7 games right there, because I feel like you threw some losses in there that I'm not okay with.
I think the smart way to actually look at this is like a probability based exercise, right? So like it's smarter to lump games together and say they will win X amount of this section than it is to say like they will lose this game or not, because they could win a lot of these games, yeah, but more likely than not they're not going to go on like a 4-game stretch where they beat 4 straight ranked teams. They're going to lose Gonzaga and Kentucky. They're 2-2. The next stretch, 4 games, home to Villanova and then the PK. Right? At best, they're going 2-2 in that stretch. That's the most optimistic view I can give you on that. So at that point, that's 4 losses. Come out of that at Notre Dame.
It's a win.
It's a toss-up. It's a true road game.
It's a win.
It's a true road game. If I lumped that in with the upper group, I think 2 out of 5 wins feels smarter than 3 out of 5 wins in that group.
It's a win, and also that Villanova one at home is a win.
I'm giving them 2 out of 5 in that group. The Villanova PK 81 or whatever it is, PK 86, I don't know. At Notre Dame, I think they win 2 out of 5. And to me, they lose to Villanova. They beat Notre Dame and they go 1-2 in the PK. That would be my prediction. But if you beat Nova, then I think you lose. Like I think they're going 2-5 in that stretch. So 5 losses is what we now have. Into Big Ten play, I'll give you wins against Northwestern and Penn State. I'll give you wins against Brown, Oakland, Buffalo, Nebraska. I'll even give you a win at home against Michigan. That's 7 straight wins off the heels of Notre Dame. 8 straight if you had them beating Notre Dame. But right now I've got them at 5 losses at this point in the season card. At Wisconsin, January 10th.
Win.
Loss in Cole. That's 6.
Win.
At Illinois, January 13th. Loss against what I think is the best team in the Big Ten. That's 7. Home against Purdue. Home against Rutgers. Win. Can we talk about how Rutgers has been a horrific opponent for Michigan State lately?
They have been, but it ain't at the rack.
So we'll do our grouping again here. Home against Purdue. Home against Rutgers. At Indiana. Home against Iowa.
We'll go 3-1 in that stretch.
I could squint and go 3-1. I think it's more likely to go 2-2. But if just for the sake of the exercise, I'll give you 3-1, which tough games. Got to hold serve against all these are good teams is the thing. They're not playing cupcakes. That has you at 8 losses in my book now. At Purdue is a loss, 9. Rutgers on a neutral floor. Apparently, Tom Izzo avoided the rack. Is that like an early retirement gift this year?
Love that win.
Look, if we gave you a win against Rutgers the first time, we're giving you a loss to Rutgers the second time. You're going to split with Rutgers.
Says
You like
who?
Rutgers. You like Rutgers. You've said
I do
Rutgers is a
like
great
Rutgers.
team. So that now is that 10 losses? Am I at 10 now? I think that
No, wait, no, you might be at 9.
I'll scroll back up. Rutgers, at Purdue, at Indiana, at Illinois, at Wisconsin. That's 9. Kentucky, Gonzaga, and then no, that's 10. And then 3 in the next stretch: Villanova, PK, and Notre Dame. That's 10 losses by
I don't like how you're looking at the PK either, but we can keep it pushing.
10 losses by February 4th at this rate. And this is an entirely reasonable outlook on the season. I have you holding serve in essentially every home game that Michigan State's going to play. 10 losses, February 4th. Home against Maryland, win. At Ohio State's a toss-up. But again, it's hard to predict wins on the road. I'll give you a win at Ohio State. That's how generous I'm being. Home to Minnesota, win. At Michigan, lost. These two teams are going to split every time they play for the foreseeable future. That's 11 losses. Home to Indiana, we gave you a win. At Ohio State, I'm giving you a loss home to Indiana. They're not going to win both of those. They're not going to win both of those. If you want to flip it and say you lose at Ohio State and win at home against Indiana, fine. You're not winning both of those.
We always beat Indiana at the crib.
Not winning both of those. That's 12 losses. At Iowa, tough place to play. Tough place to play. It's lost. 13 losses. At Nebraska, you can win. Fine, take that. Now you're going into your final game of the regular season, Cart, with 13 losses. Home against Ohio State, you got to hold serve.
And we will.
And you will. Senior day, Michigan State usually does. So finish the season with 13 losses, which I believe is exactly how many losses Michigan finished last regular season with. Cart? And you thought them Wolverines were on the bubble. You thought them Wolverines didn't deserve a tournament bid.
Oh, well, there was a big difference in who those bums played last year and who we're playing this year. Because y'all were losing and not playing souls.
I mean, Arizona in the non-conference was a very tough game.
Yeah, y'all got ran by 30.
And Arizona was really good. Ben Mather, killer. So what's a record that you're happy with for this upcoming season?
Doesn't really matter. I just want everyone happy and healthy.
Well, you're not off to a good start there.
I am not. Prayers up to Jay Nakin's ankle or boot or foot, or whatever's going on. But I don't know, Greg. I see what you're saying, because I don't think you're wrong in saying that we could lose all these games. But at the same time, like, I have a hard time predicting wins and losses for any team, like, at this point, just because it just feels like a pointless exercise, to be honest with you. I will say this. The more I look at it, like, you knew my stance on the non-conference schedule coming in. Like, I'm someone who's like, we'll play anybody anywhere. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not ducking. I do not like ducking smoke in any forms. Now, with that said, I've taken a step back. I've taken the non-conference schedule in a little bit more. And I feel like this is a little bit of coaching, scheduling, malpractice in some sort of form, because I feel like there's no self-awareness on your team this year. Like, there's no layups in that non-conference to get us going. Like, I can see playing, let's say we get that Kentucky, Gonzaga, Kentucky, like that stretch, and then we throw in something there. I don't know if Villanova at home is really that necessary of a game. Do we really want that? Do we really need that going into the PK tournament? Like, I appreciate the confidence in scheduling this, but the combination of our non-conference, and then you have that with our tough conference schedule, and our personnel and our team, we're gonna know about this team. I'll tell you that for sure. There's not gonna be any question marks. We're gonna know who this team is and what they are. But there maybe could have been one of those non-conference games taken out, or maybe more of a layup or two inserted in there somewhere.
Yeah, I just think if last year's Michigan State team, or either of the last 2 years Michigan State teams that have gone 9-11 in the Big Ten, followed by 11-9 in the Big Ten, both teams finished the season with 13 losses. That's postseason. So they lost in the Big Ten tournament, they lost in the NCAA tournament, finished the regular season with 11 losses. If both of those two teams played this schedule, they lose 14 games in the regular season. straight up. Like this team has to make significant strides on the court to avoid losing that many games.
This team compared to the last
2 years. It's Aaron Henry's senior year.
So Aaron Henry's senior year, that team is significantly worse than the two teams in the previous years. I will say that. If that Aaron Henry senior year team played this schedule, we'd be calling for an NIT. We'd be calling for an NIT bid.
I agree with you for the majority of that season. I agree because there was like lineup shit and they were really trying to make Foster Loyer work at point guard for a while and they just didn't know. But I think Aaron Henry playing really well at the end of the year kind of boosted that up a little bit. Like they had that stretch where they won some really big games, and that's how I remember that team. Like last year's team didn't have a dude that could elevate that team at all, and everybody was trying to talk themselves into AJ Hoggard coming along late, and he did show some flashes. I mean, they had Duke on the ropes. It was a good team, but like, I don't know. Like to me, I lump both of those two teams together. They were middle of the pack Big Ten teams that never competed for anything in the Big Ten and were not second weekend tournament teams and lost 13 games. Like if either of those teams show up to this schedule, they're losing way more games because this schedule's insane. And I don't know that I'd call it malpractice because a lot of these schedules are built, a long time in advance before what you're going to have. But some of these games were added late, and you're right. Like if you just replace the Villanova game at home or even Notre Dame on the road with like more cupcakey high major teams, like give me like a Butler, give me like a Saint, like Butler last year at Hinkle. Like even that on paper was a tough game, but it turned out Butler stunk and it built some confidence. Like you need 1 to 2 games that on a resume are going to be quad 1-ish, quad 2 games that this doesn't have. This is just like quad A, quad A, quad A, quad 1, whatever the fuck it is. And I don't know how that works for this team because I just don't think they're that good, Cart. I just don't.
Okay, but God forbid, God forbid we got something. God forbid we get hot.
It's a year too early though, right? Like you want this schedule next season, next season.
Yeah, next season, I don't know. We'll play anybody. I really don't. I'll play 27 road games. Do not care.
Okay. I'll sign you up for that if I can. Where can I sign Carter up for that? That'd be great. All right. Can I get a final record prediction from you? You sounded like, no, you won't do that.
I say we're somewhere around 12. I say 12 losses.
So this team's going to lose less games. Well, I guess that'd be 12 in the regular season.
Yeah. Yes.
So this team,
they'll end with 13. They'll win 1 or 2 games in the Big Ten tournament.
They'll end with 14 though if they lose in the NCAA tournament and they lose in the Big Ten tournament.
Those are 2 big ifs.
Well, you listed the Final Four with dates and locations on the team schedule. I thought that was a little interesting.
Exactly. Strive for greatness. Okay, yeah, we'll end the season with 14 losses.
Okay, so 1 more loss than the last 2 seasons with an infinitely harder schedule is Carter Elliott's prediction. Interesting. Okay, we'll revisit this. I don't mean to. I'm not just instigating. I swear to God, I think this team loses 16 games. And I don't know if 2 of those come in the tournament or not. I think if you lose 14 with this schedule, you'll get in the tournament.
So you're saying we end with 16 regular season losses?
Maybe, honestly. But I think if Michigan State loses 14 games, which is about the smallest number I can see this team losing, because let me be completely real, Car. I think the ceiling for this team is 10-10 in the Big Ten. That's to me the way to break this down and look at it is I think they're a 10-10 team in the Big Ten, which is right in line where they've been the last few years. Their schedule's way harder this year in the Big Ten. You can only
Big Ten
lose.
Is down this year.
It is down, but I think Michigan State's also down. Like they're part of the reason it's down. Everybody's down. Everybody's down. Then they can only lose 4 in the non-conference, right? And like we're guaranteeing Gonzaga and Kentucky your losses. So now you can only lose 2 in the PK 80 and nothing else. Like it's crazy. And no Villanova, like it is not, when you break it down, it is not wild to see this team losing 15, 16 games. I think honestly, a reasonably good projection for this team would be lose 14 in the regular season. And if you lose 14, I think they get in the first 4 and they lose one of the Big Ten tournament. They lose.
No. First 4 with 14. Come on.
What do you mean? You think they'd be a lock in with 14 losses?
Yes.
No, they would. I mean,
we'd had the wins on the resume to get in there.
14 losses is an insane number to make.
Michigan had 14 losses, was an 11 seed last year.
Michigan had 13 losses. It's different.
And they were an 11 seed.
If they had one more loss, they would have been in the first 4. That's the point.
What were they?
Yes. 11 seed is literally the seed line with the first 4.
But also
they were 2 teams off from being in the first 4.
There are so many opportunities though to get wins to keep us off that line. That's what I'm saying. Like the schedule is hard enough that if we do win some of these games, we are gonna be in. Even let's say let's say we choke it away in Big Ten play, but if you have those major wins on the resume, we will get in. You are an ass, Joe Lunardi.
13, you're right. 14, you're in the first 4. 15, you're out. That's the bar. I guarantee you I come back to this with you all season long. We talk about this. I think if I have to make a prediction right now, in September, Michigan State loses 14 games in the regular season. They lose a 15th in the Big Ten tournament. They make the tournament in the first 4. And at some point, they lose their 16th game of the season. That's my prediction. It's a ton of losses. I mean, god damn, man. Sim the season.
I'm about to lash out if we don't move on.
Prayers up to Jay Nakins. Hope whatever's going on with that boot is not serious, because that's all I want to see from Michigan State. Let's move to Illinois. Zach Perrin.
Up to Kobe Buffkin as well, who's been playing like he's in a boot for the last 2 seasons.
I was being serious with the prayers. Kobe needs prayers too, though. I'll take that. You're right. Zach Perrin is still 100% committed to Illinois, according to his social media. However, he is not enrolling. Cart, stop me if you've heard this before. Some trouble with the admissions department.
Ooh.
Oh, didn't realize.
Dipping into the Ann Arbor bag.
Had no idea that Illinois could have trouble with admissions. Interesting. So Perrin is now basically not reclassifying up, is my understanding. He's going to enroll at Sunrise Christian Academy, stay committed to Illinois, and then do a year of essentially high school basketball at Sunrise Christian, and then enroll at Illinois in the 2023 class. However, if you're Perrin, aren't you maybe pulling maybe I'll open my recruitment a little bit here. Like maybe I'll still probably going to go to Illinois, but if I'm going to be at Sunrise Christian, and this isn't like a Brad Underwood discovered me before everyone else thing anymore, and all these big time coaches are going to see me, don't you open your recruitment up, Cart?
Yeah, no, that's where you hit the nail on the head in this situation. This is bad for Illinois straight up. I think this is bad because I think that the positive about what Brad Underwood did is I feel like that he kind of put the full court press on Perrin while he was overseas playing. Like there's a lot of coaches that, won't go overseas to go recruit. There's very few that kind of had that in their bag. I mean, Arizona's really good at it. Michigan with Yo-Yo, they did a good job of it. But I think that it benefits you when you're getting these overseas guys. Okay, my desk just completely started moving down. That was extremely weird. But what I was saying is, you had kind of the leg up by going over there and getting him committed, and you bring him over here and he doesn't do anything. He goes right from airport to campus. Now there's a couple stops. Sunrise Christian is a really prominent powerhouse of a high school basketball team. They are the best coaches in the country, the best recruiters in the country are going to be at Sunrise Christian games. If they see something in Zach Perrin, if a, I'm not gonna say a Duke because Duke is loaded in 2023, but if a blue blood big school comes a creeping in and just takes a little pulse check, a little temperature check on Zach Perrin, I could see him just, maybe dipping his toe in the water, seeing what's going on, listening perhaps. But, hopefully he still ends up in Illinois for Illinois fans' sake. I don't see them doing well with that. But this is not the ideal situation for them.
Yeah, so I have a couple thoughts. First of all, specific to this year's team, 2022, I don't think it matters. They have Coleman Hawkins, they have Dane Danger in the front court. Like I would have been very surprised if Perrin factored into anything other than spot minutes. Maybe that is a little frustrating that they don't have the luxury of having a talented, high ceiling type guy for like 5 to 10 extra minutes a game if something goes wrong. But for his long-term career in college, I actually think it's a good thing because he's not going to waste a year. He wouldn't have redshirted on this team, I don't think, but he wouldn't have played. So good for him. Looking more at Perrin's side of this. First of all, this is a good thing if you're an Illinois fan that he's going to Sunrise Christian, because I think it speaks to his game in a way that we were skeptical of. We watched the film when he committed to Illinois first, and your first reaction and my first reaction was kind of like, I can kind of see flashes, but I don't know about this one. Well, he's joining a Sunrise Christian team that has, I'm going to read off this, Matas Buzelis, the number 7 player in this class, Baylor commit Myra Little, number 25 in this class, Arkansas commit Layden Blocker, number 29 in this class, Ohio State commit Scotty Middleton, 4-star, 47th in class, John Bull, 5-star, 2024 center, number 13 overall in the 24 class. This team's loaded. So for that team to want Zacharie Perrin bodes really well for Zacharie Perrin and what he's capable of on a basketball court. We'll have to see what he does. We'll have to see what he contributes if he's like the 6th, 7th guy on this team, which is what I would expect based on hearing all of those names. But God forbid, if he's like the 3rd guy, if he works his way up and is, doing more productive things on a basketball court than a Scotty Middleton, here's where the downside of that comes is people are going to notice. And that's a lot of dudes that, the G League chased Buzelis, Arkansas, Muss, like Baylor, Scott Drew, like big time recruiters.
I thought that Buzelis was in the G League.
Did he already commit to the Ignite? I think that might be. I think he did commit to the Ignite, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So, but like, that's the point, is he's now going to be surrounded by guys who are, in circles of networks of both dirty recruitments and other avenues to immediately go get paid for for a kid who's coming to the U.S. And he played really well in the FIBA stuff. Like he's going up as far as stock goes. I'm fascinated to see if he really holds true to his Illinois commitment, because in his statements, he held firm to it. Like, very clearly made it extremely clear. I will enroll at Illinois. I'm going to Sunrise, and then I'm going to Illinois.
Yeah, hey, I got all types of stories about kids who said the same thing. But to look at the positive spin on this, like you mentioned, though, no better place to go than Sunrise. There is some good developmental high schools out there, I will say, but like the players that come through Sunrise, I think that the coaches over there, as far as player development and like also like making players that like play hard and play the right way and develop their bodies, I think that Sunrise does an amazing job of that. So Illinois fans should be excited about that, because I think you have a raw product, like you pointed out. I think this is a raw product here that he will get better at Sunrise. I think that playing with those guys will make him better. I think that the player development there will be good for him. You just have to be a little bit scared in the back of your mind that he could shoot up. Like he could come onto the scene bigly. So
yeah, 14 points and 9 rebounds for Perrin at the FIBA event last month. So he is performing right now.
What yo-yo average at the FIBA event?
Not 14 and 9. Not close.
Less than that?
A lot less, yeah.
Interesting.
Yusuf was on, by my understanding, I don't want to say he was on a better team, because I don't know that.
Oh, no, he was. He was. Lebanon, powerhouse. Shout out to Lebanon, by the way.
Okay.
Appreciate y'all.
Yusuf's role was, I don't believe, what Zach Perrin's role was in that tournament. He showed flashes, but in some of their more competitive big games down the stretch, Yusuf was playing spot minutes. So take that what you will. Not saying Perrin's better than Yusuf, but I don't know. I also don't know that Yusuf would be able to go to Sunrise Christian Academy right now if he wanted to. So maybe Perrin is better than Yusuf at this very date, at September 13th, 2022. Maybe Perrin's a better recruit.
That's a statement.
Better hold on to him, Brad. But that's why they call him Daddy Brad, Cart. I mean, he holds on to recruits. He doesn't lose recruits.
What do you mean they? Who's they?
He doesn't lose recruits, Cart. That's not what he does.
Who's they? Actually, can we do a quick check on that? The DB thing is actually being said in circles by people. Like, seriously. Would you like to address that?
I think it should be. I think that everyone in the Big Ten should view Daddy Brad as exactly that. I am excited to see this have taken off a little bit. I hope it continues to take off. I know that Daddy Brad knows about the Daddy Brad nickname. In fact, I believe Daddy Brad has been sent a shirt with Daddy Brad on it. That shirt will be made available very soon. Stay tuned. But yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a great nickname. I think it's well-deserved. And I genuinely fear Brad Underwood with every piece of my soul, Cart. I do.
If you ever do me wrong, I'm coming out with a Father Underwood branding line, and I'm going to sink you.
It's never going to happen. All right. From a promising recruit for Illinois to a promising recruit for Michigan and 3 other schools that could get him over Michigan. Isaiah Collier, number 1 recruit in the country. Keep continuing to be more impressed with his game. Love him. We talk about him every single week on here, it feels like, because nobody knows what the hell is going on in this recruitment. Nobody knows. Except for some people might know. Cart, you thought that Cincinnati had some steam this week, right? Do you want to speak to that first?
Yeah, I was just, kind of nothing like, in stone or anything, but the rumors were swirling that Wes Miller and his staff were really impressing Collier and putting even more of a full court press on than they were before. So that was just kind of things I was hearing. And I heard that they were making a little bit of a pretty good impression on Mr. Young Collier. But I'm ready for you to hit me with a rumor that is just going to completely crush my point. So please do.
Well, I'm curious, we both got our sources here. We both got our rumor mills. Is your rumor mill more trustworthy than my rumor mill?
No. Straight up. And in this situation, no. Straight up, no.
Okay.
I am not plugged into the UC Bearcats scene like you may think.
Okay. I don't know how trustworthy anyone in this recruitment is. I really don't. But I do have ears in places that I think matter on certain elements of this. And I will just say, first of all, the one thing I will hold adamant to that I've heard from everyone I talk to is that no matter what the latest sourcey news is that pops up, the Michigan coaching staff feels they are in a great spot. That has been the case since their visit. And that doesn't mean he's going to commit to Michigan, but it means the coaching staff feels they are in a great spot. I believe something happened this week. I don't know exactly what it is, like a new live period started, or like there's a day and a certain time that you can contact recruits again. Everybody from Michigan was with Isaiah Collier. They did not go after other guys. They did not go after the Zayden Highs, the Papacantes. All of those seem to sort of be trending south. It seems like it's Isaiah Collier or bust for Michigan. Who knows if that will work out? But you got to think if the staff's going to do that, they like their chances. Sort of the Tom Izzo, Xavier Booker, all the eggs in the basket cart.
Hey, don't be that guy putting your eggs in all the basket and ain't coming back with no eggs. All right. That's all I'm saying.
How the tables have turned here, Carter.
So sim the season.
So here's the new rumor with Collier, though. Again, from a source that will remain private to this, and in all.
Before you say this, I want everyone to know. I feel like everyone thinks we only have like 1 or 2 sources. We've been doing this for a while now. We got a network, all right. Okay, now at the start, yeah, we only had like one or two sources, and I think everyone who listens to this podcast knows who it is. But God damn it, we got sources now. Show us some respect. Please carry on, Gregory.
We do have sources. And also, I would just like to say, I think that some of our sources like giving us information because we aren't trying to break news. Like when normally in the scoops game, like sources don't give each other info because they're competing with each other. Like the sleepers are never going to go out and publish a report that something happened. Like all we're going to do is come on this very platform and like make shitty jokes about it. So like I think that people like that to an extent. So because of that, we get real information now. But anyway, my guy on this one has made this very clear in all caps on the very first text. Let me preface this by saying this is just a rumor, all caps. Isaiah Collier might visit Michigan again.
Did he already take an official?
He did.
So does it mean he taking another unofficial visit?
I assume so, but I don't know how that works. I don't know how many officials.
I was just one that thought just popped in my head because I know you get like I think the number is depending on what year you're in school. So he's a senior, so I think it's maybe 5, possibly, or maybe like a couple in the summer. But I wonder if you can double up officials.
I believe you can, and I believe that's what's being floated here.
I wonder what game he's going to go to because he couldn't make it out to the Hawaii game, but they do got UConn next week. So who knows?
I mean, he wants to see the JJ McCarthy show, huh? We're going to go there in just a second. All right. Well, if you're Michigan, though, you go all the way in on Collier, right? Like we've talked about their roster situation. They likely will return 11 guys from this team next year. To me, all those 11 could include every starter on this team, including Hunter Dickinson. So I don't think they're in a spot where they need to just get bodies in a class. If they're going to go all in on one guy, it might as well be the number one player in the class, right?
Yeah, 100%. I highly recommend going in. And that number one player in the class is the number one player in the class is he's residing in Michigan, but it ain't
Xavier Booker's a better player than Isaiah Collier?
Yeah.
No, come on. Well, come on. You and I have talked so much about how Xavier Booker, the hype's gotten a little too high. We've done that so many times. And now you're telling me Booker's the best player in this class.
Mm-hmm. But I do want good things for y'all because I want that game next year to be good. So I'm gonna light this candle right here. We're gonna before we move on, we're gonna do a little prayer circle. Okay, we're gonna make sure that Isaiah Collier. This is a nice island retreat candle prayer circle. Isaiah Collier, we really hope you come to Michigan, man, because you know what? We want to play the best next year, and we got a squad, all right? And if you don't have Isaiah Collier, you guys are screwed, all right? So this is to him. This is the prayer circle. We can move on, though. Oh, my Kyrie.
Thank you so much for that, Carter Elliott. We are going to spend the last 2 segments here talking football and talking betting because there isn't a ton of college basketball news happening right now. There is football and betting news happening. So let's do it. Let's do the JJ McCarthy thing. Michigan, essentially, from my perspective, if you haven't heard this, I've been on the Field of 12 shows talking about it. I think Jim Harbaugh intentionally set Cade McNamara up to fail. I believe that this decision was made before the season started that JJ McCarthy's the better quarterback. Clearly, I think he knew there were politics involved. I think he knew he couldn't just name JJ McCarthy the starter without an uprising of what the hell are you doing? So he did you're both going to start one game thing. Game 1, Cade had full drives where he wasn't allowed to throw the ball. His receivers were dropping passes. His linemen were missing blocks. JJ McCarthy comes in the game, instant scores, looks fantastic. Game 2 against Hawaii, JJ could not have looked better an entire half. Cade comes in. He feels all the pressure in the world now. What do you know? Lyman's still missing blocks. He's missing passes. He throws a pick. The job's done. Mission accomplished. I think Jim Harbaugh got exactly what he wanted, and I give him credit for it. I don't think it's the best personal thing to do. I think he should have probably just told Cade McNamara ahead of time before the season, hey, you're not the guy. Maybe you want to go somewhere else. But if you're a college football coach and you're a selfish one trying to get the best roster for yourself, you want Cade as your backup. So mission accomplished. That's a move that some other coaches and other sports in the state have, held guys onto their roster that maybe it's at their expense in certain areas before Cart. We're both well familiar with that. So Harbaugh did it, and he gets his starter in JJ. Now, here's what I want to talk about. You told me Saturday night, I was with you, you're not afraid of JJ at all. We were watching the game. He threw a stripe touchdown, said, not concerned. Next morning, I wake up to a text. I want to just read it for you. I'm going to read it word for word if you don't mind, okay? You ready for this? Do you remember this text, first of all? Let me ask that.
Yes, I do.
I wasn't sure if you were like still a little cloudy in the head or not.
I was a little hungover, but yes, I do.
All right, Carter, word for word, the text was this. If I keep scrolling up, I will find it. Okay, I am scared of JJ.
I thought I said JJ's nice.
Yeah, I couldn't find the text. I just made that up.
Wow, you're 100% off. Wow.
Okay, but you said
like that.
I think you at least said okay. It was like an okay JJ.
I said okay, JJ is nice because the night before I was being disrespectful.
Okay, so give me your stance on JJ McCarthy. Are you scared
JJ
of JJ?
is not JJ is nice. JJ is nice.
Are you scared of JJ?
Talent?
Are you scared of JJ McCarthy?
No, not scared of JJ McCarthy. Not scared. JJ McCarthy is good, but I'm not scared of JJ McCarthy. And also, this is exactly why I don't want to give a guy credit, because JJ has one game against a team that would fail to cover against fucking Comstock High School, but all of a sudden, he's like top 5 in the Heisman odds, and he's all this, and 5-star, going to 5-star. Oh, JJ's the one. Dog, I could start at corner for Hawaii. Literally.
First of all, you couldn't.
Yes, I could.
No, you are doing the thing where you project. You're doing the Lebanon. You're Lebaning. You're Lebanoning.
Okay, that's a little out of pocket with that. But in all honesty, come on, man. He's cooking Hawaii.
Yeah, he cooked Hawaii. Cade did not cook Hawaii.
That's great. He should cook Hawaii, but top 5 Heisman odds now. Come on.
Cade did not cook Hawaii.
JJ is better than Cade.
Whoa. Breaking news from Carter Elliott.
I fear Cade more.
Oh, wow. You fear Cade McNamara.
I fear Cade McNamara more than I fear JJ McCarthy.
So you fear Cade McNamara. You're afraid of Cade McNamara. Carter Elliott is afraid of Cade McNamara. I'm
speaking from what I'm a Michigan State football fan. I'm speaking on what I've seen.
Why would you be afraid of a quarterback you beat last year, Cart?
Because that Cade McNamara, that quarterback, he was actually doing some things. When JJ McCarthy was in the game, he was shitting his pants.
Put in a tough spot, What do you have? 3 snaps that game?
3 or 4. Fumbled on 3 of them. But I'll tell you right now, I'm fine with this because I honestly don't know. I think their first hard game is against Penn State, and that game's at home.
First hard game's at Iowa.
And
Kinnick.
Is that a hard game?
At Iowa is always hard, in my opinion.
That is true, I guess. But in all actuality, I'll tell you right now, JJ McCarthy does not want to see our defense. He's not ready for that. He wasn't ready for it last year. He sure as shit ain't gonna be ready for it this year. That's all I'm saying.
Akron was certainly not ready for the Michigan State defense. That is for sure. We'll have to wait and see. I think Michigan State owns Michigan in football.
My team's got a real game this weekend. We'll talk about it when we get to betting, but just let me know.
You know where I stand. Michigan State owns Michigan in football. I don't think who's at quarterback changes much of that. The only thing I think
we own you in basketball too.
That's not true at all. Objectively not true, but anyways, I'm going to try to ignore that and keep us on track here. So the only thing that JJ does for me is he gives them a shot to win games against the best of the best of the best in a way that Cade doesn't. And it sounds stupid to even frame it like this because there's such a long way to go to get back there. but you were never, ever staying in a game with Georgia with Cade McNamara at quarterback. And God forbid they got Georgia again at some point this year. It would be in the playoff. They're losing that game by 40. I don't know that you can say the same about JJ. And we still don't know that, but like there is a world where JJ is special enough to keep you in a game like that. He looked really good against Georgia in the second half of that game. So we got to see. He's got to do what Cade did in order to even get a shot there. But I think this is Harbaugh going for the upside play because we knew where the season ended. Even if it meant a really good season, even if it meant losing to Michigan State and beating Ohio State again and going back to the playoff, you weren't beating Georgia. JJ, now I think you don't know what the ceiling is. That's exciting if you're a Michigan football fan.
So Harbaugh has officially aborted the 2-quarterback plan.
Yeah, it's JJ. It's JJ's job. But they'll be up so much that Cade will get reps. But it's JJ's job.
Wow.
Any commentary on my comparison that Peyton Thorne is Diet Lewerke?
Hold on 1 second. Meg, I'm recording. Sorry, wife was calling me. Any comments on what?
That Peyton Thorne is Diet Lewerke?
Which Lewerke are we referring to?
The overall Lewerke.
I'm not going to comment on that. I will say that I am not encouraged by his play early on this season, and I do have thoughts about that. And it's in the back of my head, and it's something I'm paying attention to moving forward. But I'm not feeling as good as I would like to about our quarterback play.
If you could start,
but with all that said, that's still my quarterback.
If you could start Peyton Thorne or JJ McCarthy tomorrow, who are you starting with Michigan State's team? Peyton Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
That's blasphemous. Come on. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? How do you say that with a straight face?
I just said it.
I understand, but like, we promised we wouldn't lie to people, Cart. Like that was the one thing we built this on years ago.
I'm not lying.
How? How is that a
because
real answer?
I think anyone that genuinely makes a choice to attend University of Michigan to play football is an actual dumbass.
Okay. I mean, yeah, who would want to go to the college football playoff? That doesn't seem like something college football players would want to do.
For a khaki wearing, freaking Bible thumping, abortion law idiot in John Harbaugh.
His name's Jim Harbaugh, but
Jim Harbaugh, whatever. It fits both. Anyone associated with the Harbaugh family will never ever be good with me, and I'll never rock with them ever.
Hey, I'm with you there.
Shout out to TJ.
Okay. Can we talk about bets? Let's talk about bets. We are both gamblers. We are bettors. We've had rough couple of weeks, some highs and some lows this past weekend, Cart. I had a very real chance to win $19.2 thousand on a $40 bet. I had a 3-leg parlay, App State to beat Texas A&M, win. Georgia Southern to beat Nebraska, win. It all came down to the latest of late night games, Arizona to beat Mississippi State. Arizona was up 7-6 when we flipped that game on. I thought I had all hope in the world. The cash out was just over $1,000 on the $40 bet. Bunch of people tweeting at me to cash it out. You were sitting right next to me in your basement. My wife was there. We're all sweating it. I'm like, should I cash it out? My wife looked me dead in the eyes and said, let it rock. We didn't cash it out. We won nothing. I'm still hurt 3 days later right now. That's been the story. We've lost so many bets on like kicks and fluke shit. At least that one was lost because Arizona wasn't good enough. That's the only solace that I take.
Oh yeah, no, that you had biracial Rocky Lombardi at quarterback for Arizona.
He was crushing us. Absolutely,
he was killing us.
But how's betting gone for you? Let's just open it up like that. How's the start to the season for football gone for you from betting?
Just so many so many field goals that have lost me bets. It's like crazy, and not like necessarily hard field goals. Like I had Bengals money line, I had Titans money line. It's just I had Houston over the weekend. Baylor missed a field goal to win the game. Like it's just so many missed field goals to win the game, and not necessarily hard field goals. Like they're not missing 52 yarders that is going to be their career high. No, they're missing like 37 yarders that are right there. But my break's got to be coming soon. I mean, to quote the great Geno Smith last night, they're trying to write me off in betting, and I'm not going to write back.
Yeah, I keep telling myself like I'm due for an upswing here. Missed extra points, blocked kicks, missed 37 yarders, like you said. Everything is going south right now. But the good news is we're persevering. We have a lot of betting content that you can get from us. I don't know that everybody who watches us for these basketball starting five videos is aware that we do a lot of betting content as well. We're doing a show once a week in the NFL season called The Biggest Loser Betting Show with two of our friends, where the person who loses the most money each week has to do a ridiculous punishment of sorts. You were the winner last week, Cart. You won all three of your bets for that exercise. So you get to pick the punishment that our friend Larry has to do this week. Do you want to tell the people what that would be?
Yes, Larry will be shotgunning a Four Loko live during the show.
Impressive. He said he's avoided Four Locos his entire, I don't know how old he is, life to this point. So tough moment for him, but I think the punishments will only get wilder as we go. We also do the Sleepers Bets newsletter where we send these parlays. I actually sent the parlay that had the $1,000 cash out on a $40 bet. So if anybody tailed that, you were in a spot where you also could have cashed out and won $1,000 there. We send that out usually every Friday morning, sometimes Friday evenings when Cart's stuck at a bank all day. So stay tuned for that. Sleepersbets.substack.com is where you can subscribe to that. It will hit your inbox every single week. And it's time to win bets, Cart. That's how I feel. Like I'm sick of losing bets. It's time to win bets.
It is. And you know what? There's been winning bets on that newsletter. There has been.
Yeah, I gotta focus on the positives. Michigan State
Yeah, we do.
is a pick 'em against
Michigan State is plus money. Washington is favored by 3.5.
It's 3.5?
Maybe 3.
We're just making up spreads now.
No. It
manufactured chip on the shoulder. Is that what we're doing?
It was okay. Rogaine, John Sanderson.
All right. That's how that one was deeply hurtful. That's how I know you're a little upset with me this morning.
Yeah, because I just remembered you called me DraftKings Liz Cambage, whatever it is. No, I'm about to look at this spread because I'm pretty sure if it is 3.5, I would like a formal apology. Let's see here.
This is a great watch. Riveting watch.
It is 3.5.
Okay.
Jackass.
I formally apologize to you after you backtracked off.
I don't accept your apology either, but thank you for making it.
I mean, you said it's 3.5, and then I go, is it 3.5? And you go, no. So what am I apologizing for? You not knowing the spread? Congrats. That seems a little disrespectful. Michigan State money line could be a move here. Although Michael Penix is good.
Michael Penix is a Heisman candidate against Michigan State. I will say that from his years at Indiana. Whenever he plays Indiana, when he was at Indiana and he played Michigan State, kid was a Heisman candidate.
He's good. He's putting up a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns so far at Washington. So maybe they should be minus 3.5. It's a home game, right? Like this is across the country. And you've got Diet Lewerke under center. So I don't know. I think if Brian Lewerke was here, he loses this game, right? This is definitely a Brian Lewerke loss.
I think I'm gonna have this game in a parlay. I'm gonna have it straight up. I'm gonna have it in a teaser. I'm gonna attach it to an NFL parlay that I'm gonna place the next day. It's gonna be in everything that I bet this weekend, and I'm not gonna stress about it.
All right. Good luck to you. We certainly need our luck to swing.
Good luck to you too, Gregory.
Hopefully this. Can you light your prayer candle for some bets to hit? Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah. Also, I take back my Sanderson comment. That was mean.
No, it's okay. It was funny. I
I
deserve
feel like
it.
there's certain line. I feel like there's certain lines we can't cross on this.
No, it's all right. The Rogain's not working. It's okay.
You're not balding.
One day at a time. And
You're
just
not balding.
send us
I've
out.
seen you in person. You're not balding.
Send us out with a prayer, please, for us to win some bets.
Dear Lord, or whatever higher power there is that is watching over us as far as our bets. We're good people. Okay. We do what we need to do to provide for our families. We do what we need to do in the community to provide for them. We're good people. We don't deserve to be treated as, heathens who can't win bets and heathens who bet on teams that can't make field goals. It's time for this to turn. It's week 3 of college football. NFL is in the full swing. College basketball is on the horizon. We just ask that you look over us and that you make sure that we make informed decisions. And I'm not asking that you make us win our bets, our Lord, but just don't make us lose bets the way you've been making us lose them. And if you can find it in your heart to make us win some bets, we'd really appreciate it. In his name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. We'll be back next week on the Starting Five. Sleepers Media out.